Hey guys, Cyndi Williams here, the Wanderlust CEO. Today we're talking about what are the pros and cons to being a travel agent in 2023. If you want to know what the top cons are, why you wouldn't want to do it, the top reasons why you would want to do it, and if it's for you, keep on watching. That's what we're covering on the show today. All right, guys, don't forget to take a moment, like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell over on YouTube. Every week, we're bringing you amazing content to help you in your journey to becoming a travel agent, or if you are a travel agent or an agency owner, and I don't want you to miss a thing. If you're new here, type a little "I'm new" in comments so I can welcome you to our community. And if you are brand new, you might not know who I am. My name is Cyndi Williams. I've been in the travel industry. This year, I'm celebrating 30 years, 3 decades since I started in the industry. And I own and operate my own award-winning, nationally recognized agency, but I'm most known for being the CEO of Careers on Vacation, which certifies brand new, experienced travel agents as well as agency owners. We have programs to help travel agents through their whole career. Education is what I love to do, and everything that we train you here on the channel is vetted through either my own agency or through the hundreds and hundreds of travel brands that we help every single year in growing their businesses. But today we're starting from ground zero and we're talking about, is this the right year for you to be a travel agent, and what are the pros and what are the cons? There's a lot to think about. Over the holidays, I read a ton of annual reports, travel industry trends. It's my job as a consultant to be ahead of the curve and understand everything that's going on in the industry. And there are some interesting trends going into 2023. So I want to break that down for you today. And hopefully this gives you a better feel on how you feel about being a travel agent and help you with your decision-making process of if it's really the right year for you. So I want to start by really going through kind of where we are in the industry so far. And I'm going to read you guys some of these stats here, but I want to start by saying the industry as a whole is busier than ever. We are busy. Things are booking out faster. That is a really good thing for us, right? Travel's return since the pandemic has been really huge. There's a lot of people still doing revenge travel. People are taking more expensive trips because they're like, what if I never make it to Italy? What if I never make it to Hawaii or Iceland? They're taking these bigger bucket list trips. We still see that happening in our agency today and through the industry as a whole, right? So those are important to note because those are more expensive vacations. They're more of an investment to do those things, and they are still happening. Those higher value trips are being booked at a faster rate. We're seeing inflation in the world, but people are still taking their vacations. They are not backing down on compromising on their vacations. I want to share a couple quick stats with you. So Allianz and Squaremouth, both insurance companies in the industry, they do some interesting reports, and I like to read them every year. The first report from Allianz said, the importance of an annual vacation has never been higher. That's what their statistical data showed. And it said 74%, the majority of Americans feel taking an annual vacation is important, and more than half of all Americans have taken a vacation in the last year, right? That's a lot, 57%. If you think about that, because there's always people that don't take vacations and certain ones that maybe they've aged out to the point where they're not doing vacations anymore. They're too young to take vacations. But 57% of Americans reported in that they've taken vacations. That is really exciting data, I think. And then let me go over to Squaremouth's report. I'm reading it right off of their website, and you can see this data at squaremouth.com on their 5 travel trends of 2023 report. But I just want to pull out a couple pieces that I think were really key, and one that really surprised me, and I'm really interested to see how it pans out. I'm interested to see how it pans out in 2023. But the first one, it said 2023 will mark the full recovery of international travel. You guys know, and I told you this during COVID when we were going through this process, I said, look, it's going to be domestic first, and then it's going to be Mexico, Caribbean, and then it's going to be cruises, and then people are going to venture international, and this is how the regulations will unfold. And it did as I predicted. No surprise, but it says in this report, it said nearly 90% of insured travel was for international destinations, marking the first time international travel matched pre-pandemic levels, right? So we're already seeing that happen, and they're anticipating that is going to continue into 2023. So that 90% was in 2022. So that's actual data that they pulled. So I love that. This is the one that surprised me. It says Antarctica will be a top destination for the first time in 2023. I mean, I've booked trips to Antarctica, but they're pretty infrequent, I must admit, in the agency. So I'm really interested to see how that pans out. So I'm going to keep watching that data for you. Maybe we'll circle back at the beginning of 2024. And then it goes through a lot of sales data. But the other one that I wanted to pull out for you is travelers are primed to spend at least 25% more on travel. We know that travel is more expensive, not just because of inflation, but supply and demand. We have so many people wanting the travel that the travel suppliers are able to charge a little bit more. So travel's getting more expensive. We're going to continue to see some increases in 2023, but travelers are ready to spend that money. They're willing to spend that money. So that's an important one, I think. And also, if travel's more expensive, that means your commission is going to be higher as a whole. And I'll dive into that here in the pros and cons in a second. And then the last one that I knew was happening, but I think it's important that we have data to back it up now. Older travelers are returning to travel. So the older age groups, the one more at risk during this during COVID and during this whole process, they were instructed to stay home, maybe do it when you're ready. But those that were kind of born before 1980 were like the kind of coming in a little bit slower than the rest of them coming in. So this is the actual data. Over 60% of travel insured buyers are born before 1980, which includes Gen X, baby boomers, and collectively this group is expected to spend over $2 billion in travel in 2023. Throughout the pandemic, these demographics saw the largest drop off. So while those groups dropped off, that $2 billion's coming back into the business, guys. We're back in it, right? And then millennials and Gen Zers grew the market share of travel insurance by 15%. So more millennials and Gen Zers, I think, were buying insurance. I think a lot of people were buying more insurance, but great stats to just show the health of the travel industry as a whole. So that part you should feel really, really good about. So let's break it down in terms of pros and cons. What are the pros that I want you guys to think about getting into this industry? Let's go through the good stuff first, and then I'm going to give you the challenges too, because I want you to have both sides of the coin so you can really understand and get a good feel for this. And by the way, before we get into pros and cons, I want to tell you guys, if you're in that very beginning stage and you don't understand how the industry works, and being in the travel industry feels really new to you, and you're like, I'm a fresh baby, Cyndi, like help me understand. We have a free masterclass for you. It is our masterclass. It's really like a travel industry orientation to help you understand how our industry works, how we get paid, the different types of setups, but it also challenges you to think about your goals to match yourself with the right entry point into the industry. There's nothing to sell. I do not host agents. I don't pay agents. Yes, we have educational programs if you're interested in getting certified or becoming an agent, and we'll talk about those a little bit, but this is all good information that is only in your best interest. I really highly recommend, no matter what path you take, watch this first. You may decide that you don't want to get into the industry based on the real life picture that I show in, or you might get really excited and go, yes, I'm willing to do that. It's for me. But this will really help you give a good gauge, and that's an hour-long kind of orientation to get you situated. So I'll link that down below, and you guys can watch that later. But let's go through the pros first. So consumers need travel agents. This is something that is a new statistic that's out there, right? Travel, the landscape in travel in the marketplace is more complicated. So more consumers are leaning on travel agents to book their travel because of this more complicated playing field that's out there, right? So they need us. That's a good thing. That's a good thing for all of us. Commissions are going to be higher. Travel's more expensive, which means the commissions are higher, which means we're all going to get paid more. So that is a win-win in our industry overall. And there are plenty of customers. There's plenty of business out there. Every year when we have our students go through our travel school, we have our graduates, we stay in touch with our graduates, and we have something called our $1 Million Club and our multi-million dollar club. So from our data, we know that we've had more $1 Million producers and multi-million dollar producers than any year in the history of our company last year in 2022. That shows that there's so much business out there. If you know what you're doing, you know how to attract that business, right? So there's plenty of business to be had. Like, people are ready to travel. That's a pro for you as well. Now, it's the best time to be building your book of business. Now, this is one that I'm going to talk about kind of on the con side as well. But the why it's the best time to be building your book of business is one of the things that we saw during this whole process of the pandemic is a lot of the laissez-faire travel agents, or travel agents who are more hobbyist travel agents, or they didn't really do maybe all the learning required to become a really skilled travel agent, and they were just kind of flying by the seat of the pants kind of thing. They kind of exited the marketplace, right? They're like, oh, this is too hard. This post-pandemic stuff, like, this is a more complicated job. I don't want to do this anymore. We saw a lot of those laissez-faire travel agents kind of exit themselves out, go do other things. They didn't want to kind of stay in the kitchen got too hot. They didn't want to stay in there, right? There's another scenario. I talked to one of our real estate contacts, and he said, it's funny, like, because the mortgage rates have increased this year, a lot of people that were doing mortgages and doing loans have left the market because there's less business. And he said it was a necessary market correction, because now the ones who've been doing it for 20 years, the ones who've been around, the ones who are skilled, the ones that are willing to like hang in there and do the hard work and get skilled at their craft, that's who's left writing the mortgages. It's the same thing in our industry. The people who are here are the ones who are like, I have a passion for travel. I'm going to do this job no matter what. I love it. Like, I'm here to win it, right? So it's created this weird environment where it's a great time to build your book of business. People have left, but also there's a huge demand, because now the world needs more travel agents, and there's not as many as there were before pandemic, right? Before the pandemic. So the skilled travel agents are in demand. The other positive that is a pro is this is a career that you still can build alongside another career. So if you're nervous, like Cyndi, I don't want to jump and leave my corporate job and leave my health insurance and my 401k. I don't want to do that yet. But is this something I could build up as a hobby business and then transfer to do it full time when I'm ready? Yes, that is actually very doable, depending on how you set up your systems, your operations, and how much time you have to commit. But that is a very doable thing that you could do, is kind of start working on what people call a side hustle, or however you want to phrase it, a hobby that you're working on, a side business that you're working on while you are doing whatever your other career is. And then when it gets big enough, you can transfer over. We help people do that all the time. It's so rewarding. So yes, you can still do that in the industry. Let's talk about the cons. What are those negatives? What are those things you really need to ask yourself? Am I willing to do this? The first thing I'm going to tell you is being a travel agent is not easy. A lot of people go, well, it's just like booking a trip for myself. No, it is not like booking a trip for yourself in any way, shape, or form. When someone comes to you and they say, I want to spend $50,000 on a safari and I want all of this great stuff, and maybe you've never done a safari, you need to make sure that you're going to knock it out of the park. You need to know, who do I need to book this through? How do I make sure they have the right insurance? How do I make decisions on what flights and what connections? And do I need to understand the hub systems with airlines, right? Like, there could be a lot of different things you don't even realize you're going to need to know as a travel agent. I always say it's the stuff that you don't know that will get you in the most trouble, especially as a new travel agent. So you need to understand that this job is not like booking travel for yourself. Travel agents use a multitude of systems to book different things. You need to know who to work with, how to work with them successfully, how to make the most profit. On top of, what are your systems operationally on how you handle clients? What's the workflow of putting a client in a system? How do you make sure they have everything they need? How do you protect yourself and your business? There's a lot of little pieces that you need to know. So don't get into it thinking it's just going to be like booking a trip for myself. It's not like that. So you have to be willing to learn. And that's the second one. Are you going to be willing to do the learning to gain the skill that you're going to need to learn? Are you willing to go out and get a certification so you can become a skilled travel agent? Because remember, consumers today aren't looking for the laissez-faire travel agents of days past. They're looking for those ones that know what they're doing and that can navigate today's more complicated space. Having the more complicated space in terms of booking travel is actually a good thing for travel agents like me and the ones that are certified, because we know what we're doing, so we can help more clients, we can serve more clients, and we are building our book of business like crazy. Because once you work with someone and they feel comfortable with you and you do a good job and you take care of them, then you have gained a customer for life. So while on the pro side, it's the best time to be building your book of business, you had better know what you're doing. So how do you find out? How do you find out how to become a great travel agent and be skilled at what you do and build that confidence from day one, especially if you're brand new? That can feel overwhelming and intimidating. Just get a certification, whether you're doing it through Careers on Vacation or you're doing it through another certification program, whatever feels in alignment with your goals. But it does have a lot of value in today's marketplace to earn that certification. All right. Cons. So we talked about consumers want skilled travel agents. We talked about your job being more complicated and travel agents not being simple. Those are really the only cons. So how do you decide now if it's for you? So let's evaluate all this information. Here's the questions I want you to ask yourself to figure out if you should proceed on this journey and if it's for you. First question I always ask anyone who's considering being a travel agent, I say, do you have a passion for travel, right? If you're like, yes, I eat, breathe, and sleep travel. I love it. Even if my girlfriends didn't pay me, I would book a trip for them because I love it that much, right? You need to have a certain level of passion to be successful in this industry. I have a lot of people contact us and go, I'm just looking for a passive income stream. Can I set this up as passive income? Can I do it? Can I set it and forget it? That's not really how our industry works. And that's not how you're going to get to be a six-figure or a multiple six-figure agent or agency in our industry, or a seven-figure agency. You have to really have a passion for what you do. You have to wake up wanting to work on travel every day. If you have that passion, then continue on to the next questions. Are you willing to do the learning and certification or earn a certification that it will take so you feel confident, so you feel skilled? If the answer is yes, keep on going. Are you willing to get skilled at your craft and be patient with yourself? It's going to take you anywhere from 4 to 6 months to really start feeling confident in what you do every day. And then you're going to only explode and get bigger from there, which is great. But do you have the patience to give yourself that grace during that first 1 to 6 month period? Learning anything new is hard. This is no exception. But ask yourself that question now and be real with yourself and be honest with yourself on how you feel about that. And last but not least, are you going to treat this business like a business? I have a bazillion clients. We love all of our clients. And I always ask them, I always challenge them. I say, are you treating it like a business? Or are you treating it like a hobby? It's okay if you just want a hobby and you're going to treat it like a hobby. There's no judgment there. But if you are looking to have a type of business that's going to transform your life, or that you're going to be able to quit another job, or you're going to be able to do it full time and travel the world, you have to treat it like a business. That means being serious about the hours that you put in, the time that you put in, the learning that you put in, the investments that you make to make your business better. So if you're willing to do those things, then absolutely it's a great fit for you. There's never been a better time to get into the industry and be a travel agent if you answer those questions. Yes, 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 I'm willing to do those things. Then you, my friend, are probably ready. And listen, if my training or you've been watching our YouTube channel resonates with you, we would love to help you. We'd love to help you earn your certification. Careers on Vacation is one of the most popular certification programs in the industry. In fact, I think we're pretty much the fastest growing at this point. I have to see some data on that, but we won 5 Magellan Awards last year for our work in the travel industry. 2 of those for the work that we're doing in Careers on Vacation for our training program and helping travel agents get results faster. And that's so important. Results matter because you want to start earning that income as soon as possible. But you can check out all of our Careers on Vacation information over at careersonvacation.com. And if you are ready to apply, visit us at careersonvacation.com/ready now, and you can actually apply and meet with one of our enrollment counselors. We will learn a little bit about your goals. And if your goals are a match for what we do, then we will talk to you about how to apply for the program. This is a program you get to work with real people. This is not an e-program. We actually help you, handhold you through the process, and we have You guys, almost over 200 case studies at this point, the most video case studies in the industry for what we do in our space. And we'd be honored to help you earn your certification and get your journey started as a travel agent today. I will link all of that information below. I am losing my voice because I'm so passionate about what we're talking about today. But guys, I want to say thanks for joining us. I wish you so much love, so much abundance. I wish you the world. I'll see you guys on the next one, or I'll see you out in the world traveling. Bye, guys. Hey guys, Cyndi Williams here. If you like that last video, make sure you check out all of the other content on our channel. And if you want to follow along and travel with me around the world and see how I run my amazing travel brands and get some great tips on how to grow your own, make sure you check out that other content. I'm going to drop a couple videos here. Click those links. I'll see you next time. Bye guys.